Irish guy, and greetings to the world, because in this video, I need your help. Wherever you live in the world, whether that's Plymouth, Trinidad, or Narnia, I want you to tell me if this video is wrong. Because lads, at Halloween, I ranked every current Premier League manager by their playing ability, right? But today, I'm going to compile the best 23-man squad if I were to pick one current manager from every league in the world. But not based on how good they are as a coach, oh no, based on how brilliant they were as a player. I'm gonna find the best ex-player, one from every top flight league on the planet, and try to squeeze them all together to make the most super squad. And yeah, it's only top flight leagues, okay? So sit down, Wayne Rooney. Shouldn't you be packing your wife's toothbrush for the I'm a Celeb jungle? Let's hope she doesn't get off with one of the lads off JLS. So let me know if I've missed any of them out, because honestly, I've looked into most of the leagues, and I just know when I finish this video, I'm gonna realize that, oh wait, Roberto Carlos is actually managing in Liechtenstein. Right, let's go. Goalkeeper, Rogério Ceni, Campeonato Brasileiro Serie A. Okay, look, if there's any football league in the world where I'm expecting most of the managers to be ballers, it is probably Brazil. Guys, well, that nation is so obsessed with this sport. I'm not expecting the overweight lunch ladies to be capable of doing 40 keepy uppies with a tennis ball. And so yeah, littered across the Brazilian dugouts in the top flight are former Barcelona centre-back Gabriel Milito, ex-Chelsea left-back Filipe Luis, former Porto midfield enforcer Lucho Gonzalez, but I'm sorry, the winner. I'm going straight into my team as the #1 goalie, Rogério Ceni. You know, the Sao Paulo legend who scored 129 goals in his career? Yes, the goalkeeper. The actual goalkeeper. As this man, in his life, he crammed in 1,197 matches for Brazil's biggest club. He was the undisputed Sao Paulo #1 from 1997 until 2015. And yeah, he was a goal machine, scoring free kicks and penalties. Lads, he had a 21 goal season in 2005. 21! He is a 3-time Guinness World Record holder. He is also a world champion with Brazil. He was man of the match for Sao Paulo as they beat Liverpool in the final of the Club World Cup. Look, don't get me wrong, I would be terrified to see my goalkeeper line up a free kick on the edge of the opposition's box, because what if he hits the wall? He is suddenly gonna have to race back the length of the pitch, looking like a distressed mum who remembers she left her baby in the oven. But still, he is the manager of Esporte Club de Bahia. I mean, he's arguably the biggest goalkeeper superhero to ever live. He is an absolute legend. So absolutely get in my team. I mean, really, do you know who was once this guy's former assistant at the start of his managerial career? The one fetching him Kit Kats and putting out the cones? Go on, have a guess. You won't get it. Trust me, the answer is weird. Almost as weird as if I told you it was Michael Bublé. The answer is Michael Beale. You know, the failed Sunderland boss. To be fair, he looks like if Bublé got hit by a truck. Right back, Andoni Iraola, Premier League. Lads, the standard of ex-players managing in the Premier League is extraordinarily weak. I'm convinced that I would be more use in a 5-side match than some of these weedy bookworm dorks. I've already established that Pep Guardiola is hands down the best ex-player right now. And even he was still turned away by Wigan in 2005. Even he was once deemed to be no better than a cow path. So whilst he is the best of the current managers at kicking a football, I'm gonna go with Andoni Iraola instead, because lads, there is a serious shortage of world-class right backs currently managing. In fact, there aren't any. I mean, Iraola was a brilliant, dependable right back for 12 years in Atletico Bilbao's first team. But he wasn't exactly the Spanish Cafu. He didn't have young kids sticking his face up on the wall, but he was good. So yes, I'm sticking him into my team as my Premier League pick. Centre-back Alessandro Nesta, Serie A. Okay, in Italy, I'm spoiled for choice. There's brilliant players everywhere you look in the managerial dugouts. The likes of Alberto Gilardino, Thiago Motta, Antonio Conte were all very good international players. But lads, both Alessandro Nesta and Cesc Fabregas, they were pure world class. Lads, I loved Fabregas as a player, and so I am extremely tempted to pick this current Como coach. But how can you leave out Nesta? Someone who at one point in his life was the best centre-back on the planet. It's just a shame that the injury demons ate his career with a spoon. But come on, he was the Italian Rio Ferdinand, a smooth, peerless, ball-playing, and extremely expensive monster centre-half who swapped Lazio for AC Milan in 2002 for 30 million euros. And he went on to spend 10 years at the San Siro, winning 2 league titles and 2 Champions Leagues. He technically won the World Cup in Italy too, but I mean, unfortunately, he destroyed his knee in just the second group match. Lads, this current manager of Monza was so injury prone, and even now, I would not be shocked to read that he's lost a finger trying to butter some toast. He is clearly not much of a manager. He's second bottom of Serie A and in danger of losing his job. Maybe I should pick Cesc, but no, okay, no. I'm gonna go with Nesta at the back. Centre back, Martin de Michelis, Liga MX. Lads, I did not expect to be picking someone managing in the Mexican League and to plop them right next to Nesta in defense. defense? Well, lads, Martin de Michelis is the current boss of Monterrey in the Liga MX after being fired by Argentina giants River Plate in July after graduating from being boss of Bayern Munich's B team. And, well, I know he was a bit of a walking joke at Man City, but before that, he was actually a strong centre-back for Bayern Munich, playing 259 times for them between 2003 and 2011, winning a heap of trophies in Germany. He even went on to do really well in Spain with Malaga. He was seconds away from helping them to a Champions League semi-final in 2013. On his day, okay, before he turned into a bit of a dancing puppet at the Etihad, someone who honestly looked slower than a pig with menstrual cramps, he was on his day a man with over 50 caps for Argentina. He was good. And so yes, a mid-2000s partnership of Nesta and Di Michelis. That would have been class. Left back Giovanni from Bronkhorst Super League. Okay, the real answer for Turkey's best player now in management is Arda Turan, the 37-year-old boss of Ayaspor, who was a remarkably talented winger, sure, but he was a crazy nutter. He was a quality winger for Galatasaray, Atletico Madrid, and he even had his moments in a Barcelona shirt. But I would honestly be too scared to even send him a text inviting him into my squad, because I wouldn't be shocked if he then drove over to my house and told his dog to bite off my face. The bloke was a gangster. I'll go for Besiktas boss Giovanni from Bronkhorst. You know, that Rangers failure? Clearly, he's a bit of a soggy yogurt of a coach, but he was a quality left back who played for Feyenoord, Rangers, Arsenal, Barcelona. He has over 100 caps for the Netherlands. He played in a World Cup final and won the Champions League. Yeah, get in my starting 11. Center defensive midfielder Gennaro Gattuso, Supersport HNL. Yeah, I never, ever thought that I'd be dipping into the Croatian league to find a manager good enough to make the midfield in this team. Don't forget, I left Fabregas sitting at home, eating Rice Krispies on the couch, and no doubt fantasizing about throwing pizzas at old men. But look, Gennaro Gattuso jumps around clubs so quickly that I'm sure this video is going to be out of date 3 minutes after it's published. I mean, come on, this Italian dwarf, someone who looks like he's related to Gimli of Lord of the Rings, he is onto his 11th managerial job since 2013. He had one fling at Fiorentina that was so short, it doesn't even make his wiki page. I remember he was there. Look, he's on his way to winning the Croatian League in style in his debut season with the hat-trick split. That is, if he doesn't quit at Christmas because someone served him a cold scone. You never know with GG. Look, Gattuso was never really a world-class footballer, but he was a horrible little workhorse gremlin who played in superstar teams, only in there to retrieve the ball in ugly fashion before giving it the likes of Kaka and Pirlo to do the glamorous stuff. Honestly, the guy survived in AC Milan's midfield for nearly 500 games, winning the Champions League twice and the World Cup with Italy. Yes, he was an argumentative little toad, who I'm sure has probably spat at grandmas in the face if they take the last box of Frosties in the shop, but he was a vital player to contrast with the actual superstars. Center midfield, Steven Gerrard, Saudi Pro League. No contest. Like, I don't even need to research who else manages in the Saudi Pro League, because there is a reason Steven Gerrard is currently the 5th best paid boss in the world, and it has nothing to do with his coaching ability. It's because he was a monstrous, world-class beast of a footballer, and the Al Ittihad chairman is clearly happy that the fame of Stevie G has put them on the European map. I mean, if they were instead coached by Laurent Blanc, do you really think the Mirror would be writing articles about this club? No, they'd be about as relevant as the elves of the Rice Krispie box. Not only is Gerrard in my team, but he's getting the captaincy too. And just you wait till you see his midfield partner. Center midfield, Xabi Alonso, Bundesliga. Yeah. I'm going for a midfield trio of Gattuso, Gerrard, and Alonso. 3 blokes who played in midfield for the most epic Champions League final ever in 2005. Look, you know who I was torn about which one to pick for the Serie A boss? Well, this was also really close, because part of me so badly wants to plump for Bayern Munich boss Vincent Kompany and wedge him into the defense alongside Nesta. But we know that Alonso and Gerrard can play together. I mean, Gerrard played the best football of his career alongside the Bayer Leverkusen boss. And come on, for this guy to have represented Real Madrid, Liverpool, Bayern Munich, winning 2 Champions Leagues, and it is easy to think that he's just the odd man out in Spain's golden generation, right? Because of Xavi and Iniesta, part of me thinks that this guy's international career was on par with Michael Carrick. Just 2 unfortunate guys who couldn't get into a ridiculously world-class midfield. But no, Alonso actually has 114 Spain caps, and he started every match when they won both the World Cup in 2010 and the Euros in 2012. And to think, Rafa Benitez thought he was worse than Gareth Barry? I'm sure Rafa must have drunk a poison Capri Sun. Left wing, Damien Duff, League of Ireland Premier Division. I never ever thought that I'd actually be picking someone who manages in the League of Ireland. But lads, Damien Duff might have just won the league as Shelburne boss, but wow, what an insane player he was. My favorite player when I was a child, this jinky left winger was immense. A superstar at Blackburn Rovers, he was then a monster £17 million signing for newly rich Chelsea, where he played 125 times in 3 seasons, winning 2 Premier Leagues. Not really sure why he chose to quit them for Newcastle in 2006, as he was off the back of a 40-game season under Jose Mourinho. His career fell off a cliff after that, although he did grab 100 Ireland caps. But lads, honestly, early 2000s Duff, that man who ruined Spain at the 2002 2002 World Cup. He was truly world class. Striker Robin van Persie, Eredivisie. Easy answer here. Robin van Persie wins the Eredivisie pick by a mile. Not a single boss in Holland currently comes close to what he was. And he's currently managing struggling Heerenveen, but we all remember what a world-class lethal finisher used to be. Look, 132 goals in 278 games for Arsenal was great, but he really peaked at Manchester United. 30 goals in his debut season as they win the league. That version of Van Persie, who'd finally recovered from his injury hell and was now feeding off balls from Rooney at Old Trafford. That is one of the best strikers I have ever seen. Right wing Georgi Hadji, Liga I. Yeah, now we're really going old school. Getting chucked on the right wing is 59-year-old Georgi Hadji, currently boss of FC Forul Constanta in Romania, a club he also owns with Rivaldo. I guess he's just never going to sack himself. Look, Hadji is Romania's greatest player of all time. A spectacular left-footed attacking midfielder. He was compared to Maradona. He was so incredible for Steaua Bucharest in the 80s, reaching a European final. No wonder he earned himself a move to Real Madrid in 1988, where he did okay before he moved on to Brescia in Italy. He then joined Barcelona for £2 million, where he again struggled, sure, but come on. He was clearly a class act. Subs. Goalkeeper, Jose Molina, Indian Super League. And now I'm dipping into the Indian Super League to find Mohan Bagan's super giant boss, Jose Molina, who's only just taken his first job in management since he was binned off by a Mexican team in 2018. Look, I need a backup goalie, and this fella was an extremely competent number one for Atletico Madrid and Deportivo La Coruña back in the late 90s, early 2000s. I mean, I remember him being the Deportivo number one as they reached the Champions League semi-finals in 2004, and he squeezed himself 9 Spain caps, so clearly decent. Right back Kevin Muscat, Chinese Super League. I told you. Okay, I told you. There are not many good right backs in management. Gary Neville scared them all off. Here we've got Shanghai Port manager Kevin Muscat, some vicious Australian lump from the 90s who just kicked people whilst playing for Crystal Palace, Wolves, and especially Millwall. Just ask Neil Warnock. Look, he's got nearly 50 caps for Australia, so he was okay. Well, wow, more right backs really need to get into management. I mean, come on, where is Cafu? I was fully expecting to find this legend coaching in the Bolivian jungle or something, but nah, Muscat it is. Centre back Olaf Melberg Alsvensken. So, Nesta's backup option is a former Aston Villa Viking. Someone who looks like Fred Flintstone's little bro. Look, this is a long drop off from the class of Nesta, but still. I have Brahma Karjarna in the Swedish league. Their boss is Olaf Melberg, who I remember being a pretty rock-solid Villa defender in the 2000s. He also went on to play for Juventus, Olympiacos, Villarreal, and Copenhagen, and he also has an incredible 117 Sweden caps. But yeah, go on then, Olaf, get on my bench. Centre back Henning Berg, Cypriot First Division. Lads, I'm actually impressed that Henning Berg is still a manager 12 years after he was laughed out of English football. Remember when this Norwegian egg lasted just 10 games as boss of Blackburn in 2012, lasting from Halloween until 2 days after Christmas? If that had happened to me in my third management job, I would feel so embarrassed. I'd probably chuck my whiteboard in a bin to take up a job selling potatoes instead. But no, he's had a bunch of jobs since then, and he's just taken a job at AK Larnaca FC in Cyprus. But yeah, he was a good centre-back for Blackburn and Man United in the 90s. I mean, come on, he won the treble in 99. Surprised he hasn't been invited onto the overlap yet. We croissants with Roy Keane. He is good enough for this bench. Left back Phil Neville, MLS. For a league that seems obsessed with attracting massive worldwide names and have done for decades, Pele everyone? I'm kind of confused how the MLS managers are so low-key and non-famous that their best ex-player is Phil Neville of Portland Timbers. Look, like Burke, he is a treble winner on paper, sure, but come on. Yes, nearly 400 games for Man United and over 300 for Everton is great. I mean, the bloke's won 6 Premier League titles. That is insane. But his ability does not match his medals. But go on then, I'll chuck him in as backup left back. But honestly, MLS, I am shocked that you don't have a superstar ex-player or manager. I was expecting a Ruud Gullit, a Clarence Seedorf, or Andrea Pirlo. I mean, come on. The last one is an unemployed boss who has literally lived and played in America before. Sort it out. Someone give Pirlo a job. Center defensive midfield, Paulo Sousa, UAE. Yeah, Paulo Sousa is still in management. You know, the guy who was a QPR flop coach back in 2008? Yeah, he's had 12 jobs since then, and after messing up a bunch of different teams, he is now manager Shabab Al Ali in Dubai. Look, he's an absolute squished toad of a coach, but he was a good defensive midfielder for some European bigwigs. I mean, come on, he won back-to-back Champions Leagues with separate clubs at Juventus and Borussia Dortmund in 1996 and 1997. That is insane. He was a tough tackling DM who had good passing and a good vision. He hoovered up 50 caps for Portugal. He wasn't great, and he retired ridiculously young at 31, but he was decent, okay? Good enough to be Gattuso sub on the bench. Center defensive midfield, Petit Primera Liga. I wish I could find a better sub for Alonso, but this will just have to do. The best ex-player now coaching in the Portuguese top flight is Petit. Anyone remember him? No, not the yogurt pot. Currently the Rio Ave manager, someone who is probably now already accepting friend requests from a do on Facebook. He was a pretty good defensive midfielder in the 2000s for Benfica. He played 57 times for Portugal too. He was that guy at World Cups who just did Deco's donkey work. Yeah, he was decent. Centre midfield, Fernando Gaggio, Primera Division. And now I'm dipping into the Argentina League to knock on the door of Boca Juniors and find the most dazzling, sizzlingly talented hierarchy in world football. Lads, imagine having Juan Roman Riquelme, that exquisite Argentina playmaker, as your chairman, whilst having former Real Madrid midfielder Fernando Gaggio as the coach. I'm convinced these two are still better than any current player in that squad. Gaggio just took the Boca job at just 38 years of age. But yeah, he was a ball-playing DM who spent 5 years at Real Madrid, didn't play much, but he still did enough for newly rich Man City to obsess over wanting to sign him for years. But look, his career in Europe was a bit of a disappointment, sure. A bit of an injury-riddled damp squib at Roma and Valencia too, but make no mistake, when he was fit, he was a baller. Centre midfield, Carlo Ancelotti, La Liga. You know what, it might seem lunacy to leave a player of Carlo Ancelotti's ability on the bench, considering as a midfielder in the 80s, he won 3 Serie A spread out across Roma and AC Milan. And he won the Champions League twice and finished 3rd in the world with Italy at the 1990 World Cup. Look, he was clearly a very good player, even though that has been completely diluted by his sickeningly successful managerial career. But yeah, he was apparently a box-to-box midfielder who had excellent technical ability, despite lacking pace and physicality. But yeah, sorry, as a number 8, I'm still sticking you on the bench. Left wing, Albert Riera, Slovenian Primera Liga. Yeah, how many of you actually thought that I'd be choosing someone from the Slovenian top flight? But yeah, weirdly, the current champion Celta are managed by Albert Riera, the epitome of a blink and you miss it Barclays man. I bet most of you had no clue this 42-year-old was actually a left winger in the Premier League for Man City, Liverpool and even Watford. Look, on his day, he was a quality little player, as proven by his 16 caps for Spain right before they won the World Cup. He was a decent winger at Anfield too before he fell out with Benitez. But yeah, go on then, you can be Duff's replacement on the bench. Right wing, Dirk Kuyt, Belgian Pro League. How many of you knew that Dirk Kuyt was managing in the Belgian Pro League? Yep, currently boss of Beerschot after failing in Holland with Ado Ten Hag. Lads, put some respect in this man's career. After bursting through as a classic number 9 in the Eredivisie with Feyenoord, smashing in 83 goals in 3 seasons for them, and looking like a mini Van Nistelrooy, he then gets converted into a right winger at Liverpool. An unglamorous, hard-working defensive winger. Their answer to Park Ji-sung, and lads, he was good, and he still scored plenty of goals from out wide. 71 goals in 6 seasons at Anfield, including a hat-trick against Manchester United. He was a very underrated footballer. Striker, Luis Enrique, Ligue 1. I'm also shocked when there's a distinct lack of ballers in the French league. Well, go on then. PSG's Luis Enrique is the obvious answer here, who was weirdly a Real Madrid flop in the 90s, where he never scored more than 5 goals in a single season. And lads, he was there 5 years. But then Barcelona, he exploded into a fox-in-the-box goal machine with 109 goals in 300 matches. Real Madrid must have felt very stupid for throwing him out to the new camp like a empty crisp packet, because his goals helped Barcelona win the league twice in a row. It's incredible how poor he was at the Bernabeu and how utterly elite he was at the new camp. But yeah, late 90s, peak Enrique. He runs RVP kind of close. So there you have it, that is the best squad of 23. I could possibly comprise of 1 manager per league in the world. But you tell me, who would you have picked? What manager from a certain league would you have put in this squad? Let me know in the comments, but I think this is the best possible squad. But let me know. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to get a like, share, as always. I'll talk to you in a while.